This is Wednesday, May 10th. There are 63 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2017. Welcome to SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog.
BANUHTEE, go.
Oh my god, I love LiveJournal, and my LiveJournal loves me. Current is hyperactive.
Good evening. I am your host, James Riley, and joining me on the podcast tonight, as always, is Carrie Dixon.
Hey, everybody.
And also tonight, for the first time this year, Robert Warner's Legion of Sand.
Hey, everyone.
And our special guest this evening is Darin De Paul, who you might know as the voice behind some of your favorite characters, including Reinhardt in Overwatch, Emperor Valkorion in Star Wars The Old Republic, and many more. Welcome, Darin.
Hi, this is very exciting to be here. I've been listening for many years, and San Diego Comic-Con is tied into me being at this very moment, which we'll talk about.
All right. Well, we will have the latest SDCC news in just a bit. But first, we're going to chat with Darin. To ask questions for Darin or us, you can tweet us at SD_comic_con or use the hashtag SDConCast. We'll also be keeping an eye on the YouTube live chat if you want to post a question there. And so, Carrie, why don't you get us started?
Okay, so before we get too far into this, Darin, I actually want to talk about how you and I met,
Yes.
which was back at the very first Enchantment Under the SDCC party, which I think was in 2013?
2012.
2012, that's crazy. So you were actually the very first person that I ran into at the party. And I just kind of want to know, like, what brought you to that moment?
I was a New York theater actor and had done a lot of, Broadway, off-Broadway, national tours, regional theater, a lot of commercials, and loved Comic-Con. I had always wanted to go. I listened to you guys at a cafe. Somehow I got a ticket in that year. I don't know how. My wife did not, and we decided to make a trip of it. And we're like, well, let's just go. Let's see. It was the year of Course of the Force and all that, and we wound up first seeing our friend Roz Ruff in a stage production of The Exorcist at the Geffen, and sitting next to us was Lucy Lawless, who turned out to be the most wonderful, charming, just wonderful person. Talking to us, we stood and talked after the play. I'm like, this doesn't happen in New York. And then we got to Comic-Con, and everyone was super nice. And we were so excited. And my wife went, I could see us being here. That's what we did the very next year. But I wanted to go to that party and meet you guys. And I was just chatting everybody up, and you came over, and we started talking Broadway.
Yep, as we do just about every year.
Yes.
Yes. That's right. So, James, do you want to?
Sorry about that. I was looking at the other page there.
No
Okay,
problem.
Darin. Okay.
Yes, hi.
Hi there. How did you get into acting, and then more specifically, voice acting?
I acting ever since high school. It's always what I wanted to do, and took some sideways journeys, but always kept doing it. Voice acting, I was doing a play at the New Jersey Shakespeare Festival, and the person who was doing the loop group for the movie was in it with me. And he's like, call me up. I want you to audition for the roles of dodos and dinosaurs and cavemen. I'm like, I work with you every night. He's like, no, I want to hear you over the phone. So I called him up. I got the gig. We worked 3 days on Ice Age, and I was like, I love this. Buddy, except looking like this accountant guy that I look like. And that started the journey. And you have successes, you have failures, you have moments of just pure excitement, and then you're like, am I ever going to work again? But that's how I started. And Comic-Con, it was Deb going, my wife, saying, let's try it here. So what we did was we just gave it a shot. New York actors are New York actors.
I think we're having some audio issues. We apologize for that. I think he froze.
He did freeze. Hopefully he comes back.
Freeze. All right. I'm going to call him real quick. You talk for a little bit, okay?
Okay. Well, while we are waiting, we can check any questions in the chat and see if anyone has any. So this is something we were going to talk about a little later, but I mean, we can always talk about it now, which is Fundays went on sale today and sold out in very little time. Now, I will say that there were a lot of people very upset about the fact that it sold out quick, and there were just a lot of people trying, I would assume. I mean, I think the venue can hold up to 2,000 people. I mean, it's a big room. But you have to assume that there are thousands of people because a lot of people from Comic-Con want to go. But I will say that the Twitter link did work. People got in by clicking on the Twitter link as soon as it came up and getting in. So I know that there were some people who were claiming that they were sold out before you even got on Twitter, and it's really just all depends on your internet speed and how fast you get through things. It's just the way it goes. I mean, things sell out quick. Look at Comic-Con. They let us in a little bit at a time, and it still only takes 55 minutes to sell out, and that's 50,000 tickets. So,
and usually everything Comic-Con related goes so quick.
Right, and this is one with a lot of hardcore collectors, and a lot of people want to go. It's a great party, so a lot of people want to get in there. I mean, I know that a lot of the Funko fans, are coming to town just for this. So it's not like, hey, random Comic-Con attendee is going to be going to it. There's a lot of people who want to go, who are fans, and they want in.
Yep.
So, and then there's really nothing you can do about it. I mean, I know that some people are suggesting they go to lottery, and yeah, they can, but do we want one more thing that's a lottery at Comic-Con? So yeah, there's it was tough, but I mean, if you got in, great, you're gonna have a great time. If you didn't get in and you're on the wait list, I do know that a pretty good amount of people got in off of the wait list last year. Now, I think what the rule is on that is they will only let you buy one ticket instead of the up to two that they allowed on the regular sale, because they want as many people as possible to get in. So be prepared for that. And I was reading on the forum today that they'll send you a link if you get in. And I think once you click on the link, you have 10 minutes to buy.
Are we talking Fundays waitlist?
Yes.
I think last year the way that it worked was they would send you a link, and I think you had
just a short amount of time.
See, I really feel like they gave you like 24 hours to like claim your ticket. But maybe
did they give you 24 hours to click the link, or 24 hours to claim your, to
24 hours to like click the link.
Right.
And then
but maybe once you clicked it, you may have only had a short time.
Yeah.
So don't click it until you're actually ready to buy.
I just wanted to clarify it wasn't like, oh my God, I went to the bathroom, I missed Funko Fundays tickets.
No. But don't click on the link and then go to the bathroom.
Yes. Don't do that.
No. Hey, what is our prize mule's name? We got that question. Rosie? Is that the full name? We're just going to call her Rosie for now. There's a full name, probably.
Rosie's very pretty. Okay, so quick update on Darin. He is working on coming back, so his internet dropped out.
We'll just continue the interview once he comes back, and we'll just get to the news while we're waiting.
Yes, indeed. So, what have we discussed?
We only were discussing Fundays because there's a lot to discuss there, but I think we went into most of it, which was it sold out really fast. And I mentioned that people did get in on Twitter, so it didn't sell out before it got to Twitter. We did see that apparently within like a few seconds, maybe up to 15 to 30 seconds before they tweeted, it went live on Eventbrite. So maybe some people were paying attention there, where other people were paying attention to Twitter. And some people were talking about how they got their tickets taken from them. And unfortunately, it's the kind of a system where it has like 3 steps to get your ticket, which is click to get there, click the ticket button, put how many you want, and then click the button to purchase. And then once you click that button to purchase, that's when it's on timed and you actually have your ticket. Before that, your tickets weren't yours until you actually clicked that button. So
Correct. And yeah, unfortunately, guys, it's really small supply. Like, I think they estimate only about 1,500 tickets for Fundays. And this year, did you mention that they also gave away some on the forums?
I did not mention that, but yes.
Okay. Yeah. So they also they gave away somewhere probably between like 100 to 300 tickets away on the Funko Fanatics forum. And the reason we didn't post about that was because you had to meet like very specific criteria, which was like you had to have an account for a year, you had to have 100 posts. So like for an average attendee who wasn't already on the Funko Fun boards, like knowing that information wouldn't have gotten you anything.
Right. And it looks like we have our guest back. We have a Darin.
Rebecca, are we talking?
We do have a Darin.
All right.
Funkos of Reinhardt. How is this a thing?
Well, let's talk about that, actually. So, like, how does that feel?
It is weird and wonderful and amazing and humbling and overwhelming to go from somebody that just loves going to panels and the entire feel of Comic-Con to now being a guest at stuff. I don't know how it happened. You know, it's like 30 years of working on stage and in commercials, and now people are like, hey, we want to talk to you. It's kind of nuts. But it's really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it this year to see what panels I'm going to be on, what projects that I have are going to be there. I have some big projects that I think will be there, but they haven't been announced yet. And, you know, we can't talk about so much.
We do know.
It's always NDA. Well, you know, with animation and with games. But there's some big ones coming.
We're excited. We're excited for whatever it may be.
I am thrilled. Last year we got a little taste of it because at the Overwatch panel, the guys said, well, Reinhardt's in the audience, why don't you come up? And I said a couple lines, I sat down, and after the panel, I signed for an hour and a half just out of the blue. Because you're like, wow, you guys like this? We're just thrilled. It's the 1-year anniversary of Overwatch next week, and everybody is just overwhelmed and thrilled at the reception that we've gotten. So, and seeing the cosplay, I saw my first Reinhardt cosplayer at San Diego Comic-Con, Thomas DiPetrillo, at Extreme Costumes. I saw him.
So what was your reaction like when you saw that?
A big geek, you know, kind of blah, 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 you know, that kind of stuff, because you don't expect that. You know, you do your job. Most of the time you're alone. I've done some animation where we record together, but most of the time you are alone. So you hope people are going to like it. You love doing it. And then just seeing the reception, it's just overwhelming and wonderful.
So what has it been like to like make that transition from just somebody who attended Comic-Con as a fan? Because like, and I know like you really are a fan. Like I can't tell you how many Nerd HQ panels. Like I'm like, oh, there's Darin sitting behind me. What has it been like to go from that to this? Yeah.
Do you remember? I think James, you were there. It was the first Nerd HQ panel for Orphan Black.
Yes.
And it was their first panel ever. People start.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like, what? Because we were there for that. My wife and I were there. I managed to get tickets for that. I don't know how. And that's what it feels like. It's just, you get to see the other side of it, and you make wonderful moments for people. I think that's the important thing, is making those, like Carrie, when Joss Whedon took that picture with you. That will just thrill people forever. And you go, well, how do I create that for an Overwatch fan or Final Fantasy fan? I gave someone a shirt. There was a panel for Final Fantasy Kingsglaive, the movie that I was in. And they hadn't announced me, and I was going to be on the panel last year for about 1 minute until they decided, no, we're not going to announce you. And there was a t-shirt that they gave to everybody, but a girl came in late, didn't get it. And remember who you got it from. remember this voice. And she probably called security because she had no idea I was the voice actor. And I was like, well, maybe. So if you're watching, that was me. I'm a big dum-dum.
That's amazing.
And I'm looking forward to it this year. I mean, every year is just, I love that it takes over the whole city. I adore that everything we love is there. Whether it's Doctor Who or Power Rangers or, you know, Warcraft, whatever you love, it's there and somebody else loves it.
Well,
too.
so, I mean, so again,
And
since
you
you
can
are...
share.
Since you are a giant geek, like, let's just ask you, like, of the stuff that you're not in that you can't talk about anyway, like, what are you hoping is there this year?
Stuff that I'm not, that I am in, that I can't talk about.
Well, that as well.
Well, you know, Star Wars probably won't be there, right? Because it's a D23 year, D24 year. So it's a possibility Star Wars won't be there. I have now fallen in love with Nerdist Carnival. I was there a lot last year because Nerd HQ, and please don't go because then I won't get a seat. It's terrible. You will dislike it. I adore Nerdist Carnival, and I do a lot with Geek and Sundry, so that's now part of that as well. But I love just sitting there, and Preacher is a show I adore, and saw a great panel for Preacher. Wanted to see the panel for Ash versus the Evil Dead, but missed that because Square Enix was like, hey, you have to come over here and be in these go-karts at the Square Enix offsite. That was, you know, and you're like, oh, I'm there now? I just want to enjoy panels with things I want to learn about. No, you have to go do this. So it's just wonderful. What are you guys hoping for?
Oh, put us on the spot.
Yeah.
I will forever be rooting for Mr. Robot and a Ferris wheel, but I'm also hoping that the new Psych movie comes. I don't know. What are you rooting for, James?
I'm gonna think about it for a second if Robert has one right away.
I'm still crossing my fingers for a Goonies reunion.
Ooh. Do you think Orphan Black will be back? They had said on a podcast that they're sure because the show's over, they may not.
Right. So here's the thing. So last year they billed their panel as like, this is our final farewell panel. But then the show doesn't start until like late June.
Yeah.
So theoretically, if they really wanted to, I feel like they could totally still bring the cast in and like promote the last like 7 episodes. But since it's ending, do they want to spend the money? I don't know. So I feel like it could like totally go either way. But I hope it comes.
I hope there's a big Overwatch panel this year. That would be thrilling. I know nothing. It's like we keep waiting until the last minute and go, well, I'm here. Do you need me? I got a ticket and a hotel. It's a very glamorous life. And every day I will be at the Broken Yoke ordering the same sandwich that I order every year because I love it. But I learned everything from you guys. I learn all my news from you guys. It's listening to you guys at that cafe in New York that brought me to this moment. So, yeah,
Well, that's
I
very
really
sweet.
think. Well, it's true. It's I would have just been in New York being an actor going, I'm not going to take a chance. But doing it and the reception and everyone being so kind and getting so thrilled, I was like, I'm going to try it. The worst we can do is fail.
Well, there's something a little bit magical about San Diego during Comic-Con, so I think
I think
you made the right call.
We decided to stay at the Hilton Bayfront in like February. We're like, let's see what this is all about because we don't get close to it. And we were always out in Mission Valley, which was very nice.
Yeah, it's a little quieter out there.
Yeah. Is this interesting to anyone?
Yeah, I think it is. So, James, do you want to ask something?
Okay.
Sure. Actually, no, Robert, you asked something. I'm sure you have something.
All right, Darin, what does it mean to, you had the chance to be in Final Fantasy. It's a long-running video game series. What does that kind of mean to you to be a part of that?
All of them mean the world to me, that I get to play these amazing characters that, again, Arden doesn't look like this. I could never play him on stage. And I've told the story before, I almost did not audition because they come in with a code name. You don't know what you're auditioning for most of the time. And there are a bunch of characters, and I looked at this guy and went, he's interesting. But I think my friend Matt Mercer from Critical Role, that's his stuff. he's amazing. This is his wheelhouse. Why even bother? And my wife said, no, just give it one shot. Just give one take. And got it. And people just love that character. The cosplay and the fan art, I still tear up at it. Somebody gave me a wonderful fan art of Arden and Reinhardt together. Got it framed because I'm like, this is so kind. So it's
awesome.
You know, being part of that history. Although at that offsite, they wanted to film us, myself and Ray Chase, who does Noctis. We were there. Nobody knew who we were because we hadn't been announced yet. And we're just walking around doing stuff. And they said, get on these go-karts. We're going to film you. Everyone's wearing helmets. You guys don't wear helmets because we want to see it's you. Okay. And I normally dress like Paul F. Dawkins, so I'm kind of dressed like this. And like, so whatever you do, don't bump each other. Fine. Everybody's bumping me. And we keep going around and around, and they're filming, and I'm like, stop. Red flag. And everyone's laughing and keeps bumping me, and they would not stop. And so that's a little bit of what happens at Comic-Con. And I don't even know if that video was ever released, but it's out there of me just looking panicked in a go-kart at the offsite for Square Enix.
That's awesome. So earlier you mentioned that you do some things for Geek and Sundry. How did that come about?
Oh no.
Is he back?
Kind of. Darin, come back to us.
It's because I was asking a
Oh
question.
my God.
I know.
There he is.
Yay!
Did you hear the question?
I did not hear the question. Please,
Okay, question
please
is,
repeat your question. Thank you very much, and I will answer it as befits its importance.
I don't know if it's that good.
Okay.
So earlier you mentioned that you it froze again. We can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? You see him? I see him.
I'm here.
Wait for him to start talking again.
I'm
He's
waving.
waving. There he is.
I'm waving.
Okay.
Your question was?
Question. Earlier you said you went to see something about Geek and Sundry and you work for them. So how did that come about?
In a very odd way. I go to a certain comic shop here, and they asked me if I would be a part of a show that they do, which was a live table read of a very bad
No. The perils of bad Wi-Fi. Darin, come back.
We'll fix this in post.
That's right. All right. So while we wait for Darin to unfreeze, do we have any non-Darin questions or stuff we could talk about? What do you want to talk about?
It's on. It just froze again.
Oh. there you go. Are you back?
Are you back, Darin? We kind of heard you.
I came in and then went back out. Fade in, fade out.
That's the glory of this.
We can hear you again.
Oh, yay! Can you see me? No.
Yes.
Excellent.
All right, let's try this again.
Geek and Sundry. I go to a certain comic shop in Los Angeles. They asked me to be a part of a series that they do readings. It was the reading of the first script for the Green Lantern. And got to know them, and they asked me to do more and more and more. I do a Doctor Who role-playing show when I can. Might be doing Critical Role in the future.
That's exciting.
Very kind to me. Whenever they can have me over there, they're just very, very nice. And I love it. I got to go to their party last year. It was the first San Diego Comic-Con, the big to-do that I got to go to. Other than yours, every year I'm there.
Does that mean you're coming to Two Blog, Two Furious?
The boy.
Or as we call it internally, Too Furious to Blog?
Yes, I am there. I am there.
Well,
we
we
live
can't
in
wait.
New York, but we work in Los Angeles, and we kind of decorated our home with stuff we won from you.
Well, I remember that one year, like you and Deborah kept winning. Like I think I pulled your name, like your ticket, and then hers straight after, and it was like, this is not. We need to shuffle this bag a little more.
Yeah, what? Well, because you gave like 5 tickets that year. Last year was only 1, and I still won that amazing Batman prize package. No, and I was like, Reinhardt wins, and nobody knew yet. You know, Overwatch had not been popular. Like, again, who's the crazy old accountant? So, but we still have them there. There's stuff everywhere. You're going, wow, it's an exclusive, and it's over there.
That's funny. All right, Robert, did you have a question you wanted to ask?
Yeah, Jerry, you've had a really busy but really successful few years. What's been the coolest or most surreal moment so far for you?
I can't talk about that. I really want to talk about it. There's some really cool things coming up. A really good moment. I'm working on a show for Amazon. It's a little children's show called Stinky and Dirty Show. The cast is amazing. It's Tom Kenny, who's SpongeBob. It's Billy West, who's my hero. Mark Hamill, Jane Lynch, Andy Richter, Whoopi Goldberg. And being able to sit and have wonderful conversations with Billy and Tom, I never thought that would ever happen. That's what's surreal, is just going and, ask Billy about, look, what do you think about these sort of roles? How do you approach them? That's surreal and amazing. I would see the panels of SpongeBob at Comic-Con, and now I know Tom, and get to work with him. And we have a really great, next week, we're doing our last episode of this season. We're going to be taping it, and it should be in the fall. It takes so long to do these things. I have a couple projects that I've done. I've worked on for 2 years, and they're still not out.
That's insane. That's
yeah, and you have to be quiet. You have to go. There's stuff. They're like trailers for them, and you're like, somebody's like, what happened? I don't know. That'd be nice, but I don't know. So it's just being.
That's
fun.
awesome.
It's going to be very, very exciting coming up.
Well, we had
That's
a couple questions from some fans, if you don't mind answering them. So, Cavi Warrior asked, "Is it safe to assume that you'll be around for BlizzCon?"
It is too soon. I hope so. That was very exciting last year, and I know that people loved our panel. And before I went on, I was like crying. I'm going, this. That's when everything kind of changed. Was BlizzCon last year when they sort of announced us. The room went nuts, and I had this plan to throw candy to the crowd, and it was just a surreal moment. We were supposed to sign for about 45 minutes. I think they capped the line 2 hours later.
Wow.
At the end of the line, there was a large guy. He came up crying, and he was like, you don't understand. We just found out we're going to have a baby, and we wanted Reinhardt to announce it. And he's crying. I'm like, stay there. I will come down. And I tried to get him posters signed and everything. Like, I'm just a voice stupid that got lucky, I would have just been in New York, doing shows that all Broadway stuff that nobody ever heard of. And now I'm doing these projects that just make people so happy.
Well, it absolutely could. It could not have happened to a nicer guy, Darin.
You're too kind. Now, before it freezes again,
Yes.
we're going to talk some Broadway.
Yes. All right. So you're seeing Hamilton next month, right?
Hamilton in a month. We've had these tickets for 9 months. We're also seeing Groundhog Day because we have a lot of friends in it. I hope to see the play that goes wrong from England. And Kevin Kline is doing Present Laughter. I really want to see that. And we'd love to see The Great Comet.
I've heard amazing things about that. I have. So how excited are you for Hamilton?
Thrilled. Somebody today sent me, they did like a voice dub of Final Fantasy Kingsglaive with Hamilton. And they gave Arden the King's song. And I'm like, thank you, favorite number. And
That's
so
amazing.
It's a thrill. But, because we live in New York, but we work in Los Angeles. So Deb is back and forth. My wife, who's on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, you saw her. That was so good.
I know. I
message going.
had no idea she was on it, and then I was watching the finale, and she popped up, and I was like, I know her. That's Deborah. So, and she's great on it.
Million years that all these things would happen.
Hey, Deborah. So this is Deborah for everybody. She's also an actress. Deborah, you want to tell them some other things that you've been on?
Oh my goodness. My first TV gig was when I was doing the Mary Poppins National Tour, and I did the 200th episode of Dancing with the Stars. So we did the entire Step in Time number. So I am the oldest tap dancing chimney sweep in England. And then the first a serious TV thing I did was Scandal. I got to be a senator that the president was vetting to be possibly his running mate, and then Olivia puts the kibosh on the whole thing. So that was really exciting. So I got to spend a whole day with Tony Goldwyn, which was not bad. I also got to work with Jane Lynch on Angel from Hell, and then I did an episode of Fresh Off the Boat, and then I was supposed to be in last season's finale of Scandal, but then they cut my part. But I still got to spend another, 11 hours with the entire cast, which was fabulous.
And again,
Well,
we never thought this was going to happen. Thank you, Comic-Con, for making us New Yorkers go, we could maybe be here in California.
Yeah, I have gone from unidentified tap dancing chimney sweep to Hector's mom on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I could not have imagined anything better.
And I hope we get to see some more of you on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend in this upcoming season.
Oh, me too.
So real quick, we had 2 more questions from fans that I wanted to get to, Darin. Cavi Warrior asked, besides Reinhardt, what is your favorite Overwatch character?
Could I say different skin of Reinhardt? He means the world to me. Reinhardt is my father's voice exaggerated. It's like 3 steps up from my dad, because my father was Russian but born and raised in Berlin and in Germany. So he had a very interesting way of talking, you see. So then you take it a step, you're taking a step more, and you have Reinhardt. And I just adore him. And getting to know everybody in Overwatch, it's kind of like a theater now. When you do a play, you know the cast. That's what's happening with Overwatch, getting to know the other actors. And they're all so much like their characters. Everyone has such love and joy. So, but if I had to pick one, let's see. Probably don't know. I did audition for Winston. They did send me Winston. They didn't send me Soldier 76. And they did send me McCree. But I think I got the one that's best suited for me. I know it's the non-answer, but I would have to say I just adore Reinhardt. Who knew that coming to Comic-Con, I'd now have pop vinyls.
Which is super cool. That's very amazing. So Sir Lester Smeg asked, if you could get a part in any video game that you're not currently in, what series would it be?
Again, there's so much coming up. Even into 2018, there's stuff that I'm like, what the what? I'm doing that. So when I can announce it, there's several that were goals that I'm going to be in. Several roles that I never thought I'd get that are kind of, I can't say them. But yeah, there's 3 or 4 big ones that are very thrilling that will be coming out eventually. That
Eventually.
I'm just over the moon.
I like that.
The moon with it.
That's really awesome.
I did the We Bear Bears. We got the We Bear Bears. They bring him back. There's another show on Netflix that will be out this year that I worked on. There's another show on Cartoon Network that I'm waiting. That has already been announced. It's out there, and I just can't say what my character is. It's a super show.
I like it. I like it. All right. So before we let you go, Darin and Deborah, why don't you tell us where we can find you online?
Oh, I love that. Where can I find more of your work online? I love that you guys say that at the end of every show. Yes, do I watch and listen every week? Yeah. That's why this is so wonderful and surreal. You know, because I've met all of you guys, and just knowing how wonderful you guys are, it's great that you asked me to be on this. If you want to Twitter at me, I am at Darin De Paul on Twitter. I just started Instagram. I'm learning. My wife told me I should be on Instagram, but I'm doing Twitter. And how about you?
You can tweet at me at Deborah Cardona. That's Deborah Debra. The short version. Also, I'm on Instagram at same thing at Deborah Cardona.
And if you're watching television, you'll see the Geico ads that are still running, the storybook ads. The old storyteller with the book. That's me. And there's a series of Pizza Hut commercials that I'm doing now. You'll want to sit down for this. It's like we do the most amazing and wonderful jobs to keep our life going in voice acting. Like, yeah, you know, go and be the exertions for this orc in the Warcraft movie. So you'll grunt and groan for this guy for, you know, a day. That's what we do. It's the coolest, most wonderful job ever, and I'm very, very, very lucky to have it. And I can't wait to see more at Comic-Con.
I can't wait to see you guys at Comic-Con as well. So with that, I think we'll let you go. So what you can do is if you actually just close.
We got the thing working without freezing.
I know, right? It's like clear. It's great. Yeah.
Let's talk about. You have to talk about Nerd HQ. You have to talk about sci-fi.
Yes.
Yes. Funko Fundays. We have to hear about that.
Do you just want to stay on?
Yeah. Just talk.
All right. So, Hotel Apocalypse Part 3 happened this week, where basically on Friday they alerted people that if you got a hotel and you didn't put down a credit card, you were sent an email that basically said like your hotel room was released, book now, and that would take you to the not yet live waiting list inventory page. And it was really weird that they did that, because for people who were actually put on the waiting list, they were not sent the link to the waiting list until Monday morning. So it was really weird, and nobody totally knew like what time those emails were going to go out. It was just mass confusion, as it always is. But for the most part, everyone should have a hotel now. I know I've heard from a couple people who don't, but the good news is this will probably go on for like a week, and eventually they'll open up whatever inventory they have left, which is like Submission Valley hotels, some airport hotels, to anybody who still needs a room. So if you don't have a room yet, there is still hope.
Correct. You will be able to get a room eventually.
Yes, you may have to be patient. And I did want to mention that the refund deadline has come and gone. The refund deadline was actually on Monday. So, well, kind of. The full refund deadline was Monday. You can still get a refund for one of the 2 nights deposit through, I don't have the date written down, but it's sometime in June. So if that's you, just make sure you keep an eye on those deadlines. But the biggest news is, as Darin said, no Nerd HQ.
So sad.
It's so sad. Like, I mean, anyone who's been listening to this podcast for any amount of time probably knows that Nerd HQ was about my favorite thing at Comic-Con.
Mainly because of the couches, right?
Totally the couches. Oh my God. Like, why do more offsites not have a place to sit? I don't understand.
Not just a place to sit, but a decent amount of places to sit.
I know. I'm going to be bad and mention this, but I texted David over at Nerd Machine today to be like, so you guys are going to have shade and places to sit, right? And he was like, we'll have shade. I was like, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Shade is like good, but you could be better.
Yeah, you could totally be better. So, okay, I do want to clear up one thing. I've seen a couple people speculating that because the news was announced like 2 days later that Zach is going to be hosting this year's Sci-Fi Live from Comic-Con, that's potentially like why they decided not to do Nerd HQ. That has absolutely nothing to do with any of it. Absolutely nothing. Basically, they totally wanted to be at Comic-Con. It just, some stuff fell through. It just didn't work out this year. And I think like the sci-fi thing just came up and they were like, this is a way for us to still be there. They still plan on trying to do some stuff for the fans. I wouldn't count on panels, but there might be like some dance parties, some stuff like that. They'll announce whatever they have planned at a later date.
And even if he did get it while Nerd HQ was still going on, he would have just done the same thing that he did a few years ago when he had to save his voice for Broadway. He'll just bring in Alan Tudyk, Nathan Fillion, whoever else he can get to co-host his panels to do all the talking for him.
Right. Well, and like this year, Sci-Fi's even filming late. I want to say it's at like 8 p.m. Pacific time this year, which that will also help with the heat issue.
Yes.
But because it's later, like he totally could have done like Nerd HQ in the day and gone to that at night. Like one has nothing to do with the other. So it's terrible news that we don't have Nerd HQ, but at least he's still going to be there doing something. And I'm really hopeful that like the Nerd Machine can turn that event into something a whole lot better than it was last year. And Sci-Fi also seems aware of a lot of the issues. I know that their like SVP of communications was on Twitter, like tweeting us, tweeting other people, like, we're going to make it better. So people who were unhappy last year, like,
give them a
fingers
chance
crossed.
this year.
Yeah, give them a chance. Don't.
They're working towards making it better.
Yeah, just call it growing pains for the first year. Let's just see what happens.
Right. Let's just see.
Let's just see.
So there's other offsites happening. There was actually a few announced recently, and that includes the MST3K shows that are taking the place of the normal Nerdist podcast. Those tickets go on sale tomorrow with special code THEATER. And I think the regular tickets go on sale afterwards, later, the next day, something like that.
Friday, yeah.
So, yeah, Friday. So those will be going on sale tomorrow and again, the code is THEATER. The Adventure Zone went on sale today and promptly sold out. My Brother and Me also went on sale today, and I think there are still tickets available. And as we were talking about earlier in the podcast, Funko Fundays sold out in less than a minute, probably. Roughly a minute, maybe 30 seconds. Who knows? It sold out fast.
Really fast.
Really fast. And if you want, you probably just listened to us talk about it, so we're not going to talk about it again. But we'll see. We did want to mention, though, that within an hour or two of them selling out, they did announce a contest that they're going to do to give away a couple of tickets. So go ahead and check that out on the site. It's basically a thing where you can do something super crazy on video and send it to them and possibly win a couple of tickets. They're going to pick 4 people for what you say you're going to do, and then you have to do it. And then those 4 will get voted on, or something like that. They'll get voted on, and then you have to do it, something like that. But basically, one person gets 2 tickets, and then 3 people get SDCC prize packs.
Which it's Funko, so it's going to be cool no matter what it is.
Hopefully, it's going to be some of their actual exclusives from Comic-Con.
Hopefully. So, Robert, we had some exclusive news this week as well, didn't we?
Yeah, so we'll start off with Hasbro, who has an exclusive Marvel Legends Daredevil figure they are bringing to San Diego Comic-Con. The figure features more than 30 points of articulation. It comes with 12 interchangeable parts and accessories. Just taking a look at the figure, it looks really awesome. And the nice thing about it is that the artwork is done by Marvel's Chief Creative Officer, Joe Quesada. So I expect that to be a hot commodity at San Diego. Usually anything Hasbro is. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. That one's going to retail for $59.99.
And I want to mention,
it's a 6-inch figure or a 12-inch figure?
It's a 12-inch. So it's the bigger Marvel Legends figure, but it looks really cool. And I actually thought the coolest detail on this is that the back of the box has Braille on it. I think that's a nice.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
No,
I think that's a nice little added detail.
What was it? You froze for a second there. I didn't hear it.
I said the back of the box has Braille on it.
No, that's very cool.
I think that is cool. So, some other big news happened today, which is that Vikings is coming back to Comic-Con. Catherine Winnick, who plays Lagartha, I probably didn't say that right, on the series, she announced on Instagram that they'd be back and on their usual spot, which is Friday, July 21st. She didn't specifically state that it will be a panel, but it always has been in the past. Like, there's absolutely no reason to think that that's not what she's announcing. They also usually do an offsite experience, though I don't know that they did last year. I was trying
I don't
to
believe they
remember that earlier. I don't think they did either. I think they did like a really cool booth thing, but I think last year was the first year they didn't do a big offsite thing.
I think they had the bus that looked like the Viking boat that drove around.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I
All
think so.
the years blend together after a while.
I hope the new Star Trek is there. Did you see the trailer for the new CBS
Yes.
Star Trek? That was
Yes.
exciting to have them there.
And I don't think you have anything to worry about that showing up. Like, yeah, let's look at how much CBS did last year, like for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah,
It's
they're bringing
all
it
lead up
back.
to this. Yeah,
They
it'll
have
be
to
there.
bring it,
It'll be there.
though.
So,
They have a lot
Robert,
going on.
yes. So, Robert, we have some other exclusives, don't we?
Yeah, well, more than just a few. Diamond Select Toys and Diamond Comic Distributors announced over 20 previews exclusives that will be at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. So, there's some really cool, there's comics in here and busts and figures and prints that, cover a wide range of licenses. So there's some really awesome stuff in here. Most of them are limited to a couple thousand, but some of them are actually up on for pre-order on Toy Wars. at the
Okay.
moment.
So I wanted to talk about this a little bit because everybody always gets confused, and I even get confused. And then every year I'm like, "Oh right, this is how this works." so the way the Diamond Previews exclusives work is Diamond Previews, the booth itself does not sell anything. You have to go to the booth. They hand you like a sheet of paper that lists out like, here's all of our exclusives. Here are the specific booths that you can go buy them at. A lot of the toys specifically you can go buy at Diamond Select Toys. But basically, if you want any of these, go to the Diamond Previews booth, get the list. Whatever inventory they have left over after the convention, they basically like split up and they send out to distributors. So even though you're pre-ordering it, if it sells out at the convention, like you may not get it because they may not have any inventory left over to send to you. So like, the only one I think anyone really needs to worry about is that Funko Pop Power Rangers Megazord, just because everybody flipped out over that the other day. So again, even if you pre-ordered, you might still swing by previews. You might still go try to grab one on site. But for the rest of these, I really don't think you'll have too much of a problem getting them. But that's how that works.
Did you guys have any favorites in that list?
Absolutely. And I'm only going to pick one. Unlike my usual, I'm not picking more than one.
I don't believe you.
That Iron Giant Vinnie Mate is awesome.
That is pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
definitely.
lie.
There, just one. I'm done.
There you go. There you go.
Everyone
All
else
right.
is going to pick up Justin Harder artwork, and I think you announced this year Justin Harder is going to be back with
Yes, he is. It looks really cool. So do you have? That's awesome.
We have too many. We have way too many. Justin Harder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 Justin Harders in this place in Los Angeles.
Which one is your favorite?
The first one we ever got was the Rocketeer, and it's wonderful. My wife is now going to play Carol Merrill and bring the Rocketeer Justin Harder. Show it to you. This is the first one we ever bought.
Here we go.
It's the Justin Harder Rocketeer, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
awesome.
Gorgeous.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
Awesome.
well, I'll probably buy a couple more this year. Please don't tell me.
That's okay. That's okay.
You have no room.
I see a blank spot on the wall behind you there. There's a blank spot.
Underneath
Yeah.
Baymax.
Yeah, you can still see like white wall space. You totally have room. Totally.
See?
Oh.
I'm in a lot of trouble now. Thank you, Carrie.
Anytime.
So we had a couple of questions or comments in the chat, and I wanted to get to them real quick. The first one was they were talking about waiting for Matty Collector to reveal their exclusives, and yes, Matty Collector is gone, but Mattel most likely will still have exclusive at the con. It just won't be sold through Matty Collector.
Correct. And that's totally my understanding. And I actually asked Super 7, like, do you have any idea like how they're doing it? They were like, they don't tell us anything.
Basically,
So-
Matty Collector is now been reformed as the Super 7, whatever they're doing, their collectors club for He-Man and things like that.
But it's just like the shell. Like, I mean, they basically were like, here, you can have like our domain. Cool.
Yay!
So
Okay, and then there was another one which I was going to do here, which is I forgot now. But anyway, going on later, someone asked a question about for Fun Days, did Funko do anything like an online lottery or anything for WonderCon? And I don't think they did. I don't remember if they did because I didn't go to their booth during the show. I think they just did some. Did Funko even go?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember seeing Funko at WonderCon.
Okay,
If-
they
if
did go
they
2 years
did-
ago when it was in LA, but
Yeah.
they had a booth there. That's why I didn't go because they didn't have one. But no, they didn't
But
do a lottery
wasn't-
because they weren't there.
But even 2 years ago, like, wasn't it the like Powered by Funko, which is their like box thing? I'm very-
I think it was. I mean, they had a booth but they didn't have any like WonderCon exclusives. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm pretty
So-
sure it was just their like subscription box stuff. So that's
Right.
very boring. Very boring.
No, Funko wasn't at WonderCon.
Okay.
So-
Yeah. So the question is, are they going to do an online lottery? Honestly, I don't think Comic-Con will let them. Like for the whole thing, like I just don't see Comic-Con being like, yeah, that's cool. Do you? I mean, they let them do it for preview night, and I think it's possible we'll see preview night again. But I just don't see Comic-Con being like, yeah, totally. Like you can do all the pre-sales and all the signups like online only. That sounds very Comic-Con
you mean-
International E.
Do the entire thing online only, and then just have it be pickup at the booth, or
Well, I mean, they asked like how likely are they to do an online exclusive lottery for Comic-Con? I just don't see that happening. I don't think that Funko would ever do like pickups only,
right?
just because I don't feel as though they're set up for that. But I think the question is more like, could we do it where like we know we're getting a wristband? And I just don't
Yeah.
think they're going to do it.
Probably not.
Do you think Funko has taken the place of Mattel and Hasbro as like the most collectible thing at Comic-Con?
I don't know.
In certain aspects, maybe. Obviously, I think the issue with whether it's taken over Mattel and Hasbro is that they all have really good brands, so licenses. So Funko has all of the major licenses, so those licenses are just as popular, and people will buy stuff. So, but then you have the added fandom of the actual Funko collectible being the pops and the exclusive, the unique design, where Hasbro creates things that are as realistic as possible or themed to, like the Daredevil is themed with the Braille, but it's a really nice looking comic book figure. Funko has the added collectability of their uniqueness. But I think it's since they all are using the same brands, I don't know if you can say that Funko is more popular than Hasbro because they're both selling Batman or Star Wars or whatever it is.
I agree, and I don't know. I feel like Hasbro is still like the big ticket. Like I feel like Hasbro is so much harder to get than Funko. Like I know people who got Funkos. I know like maybe one person who made it into Hasbro's line where it was capped. Like maybe.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's just, but all of them are just a pain. It's such a
Yes.
pain.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
I don't like going anywhere near those lines.
Me either. I'm happy to buy them on eBay myself after if I really want it.
I have done that. I love the smaller Hasbro Marvel figures, and you
The
can't.
little like 3 3/4 or so.
Yes, like the collector's one last year was gorgeous, and the Deadpool taco truck was wonderful, but you can't get them there, so it's like, oh well,
Yeah.
I will get them where I can.
Yeah, I'll just wait 3 months and buy it on eBay. It's fine.
Yes.
So
I'm too
just a reminder for those of you who are needing parking. Parking is currently on sale. Group 3 is happening this week. Convention Center is sold out. There's a new group every Monday, so whichever group you're in, you're just gonna have to wait. And then the general sale will be June 12th.
And there's always parking available still.
Yes.
Probably Bayfront will still sell out, but if you just want parking, there's plenty of spots left. There's plenty of closed spots left.
Right. Tomorrow is the deadline for refunding your badges if you need to refund them. I know we had a question on Twitter about someone getting press and then needing to refund a badge because they had purchased it at some point in one of the sales. Just
Yes.
email the regular email that it tells you when you click on their website to get a refund. It gives you an email and what information to send, which is like which days you want refunded, your member ID, your full name, things like that.
Yeah.
So
And that
tomorrow.
includes press as well. Like he just said, like they used to, if you got press and you had bought a general attendee badge, they would just like refund you automatically. They don't do that anymore.
You still got to take the 10% hit too on the
Yes.
restocking.
Oh yeah, that just happened to be for WonderCon.
Fun.
All right, Robert.
Oh, and then just to piggyback on what James was saying about the refunds, I think tomorrow is the deadline to change your shipping address, right?
Yes, it is. And you can do that by logging into your member ID. And I think there's a tab that says like bad shipping or something along those lines. And new this year, they've added to where like you can have your physical address be one thing and then your shipping address be another thing, which is awesome for international attendees because they won't mail badges internationally, like even if you're in Canada or Mexico or something like that. But if you have a US friend who is willing to get your badge and bring it to you at the convention, you can mail it to them. And then that way at the convention, you can skip on-site pickup. But I also want to mention, because like 90% of badges are being mailed now, like on-site pickup is also no longer the giant monster that it used to be. So either way. Either way.
All right, so we are partnering with Uber and Uber Eats again this year to bring you discounts around the convention center. So for Uber, use code SDCCUblog for up to $20 off your first ride. Or you could use EATUblog17 for $10 off your first order on Uber Eats.
Which is
so very convenient services offered. So take advantage of it.
Yes. And then we have some awesome special guests lined up for the podcast all season. Next week is one of my favorite people, Patrick Ballesteros. So yeah, we write an awful lot about him. You may notice like IRT just about all of his commissions. I'm kind of a big fan, little bit, but super excited that he will be on next week. So it should be fun.
Very cool. So before we get to the end, we have a couple more questions for picking up under 12 badges at Comic-Con. I'm assuming you just go up to the badge area and point to your kid and say, "Give me a badge."
That's probably a Robert question.
Yes, that's exactly how it's done. So just make sure you have your badge with you, because they won't do it if you don't. So.
All
and
right.
don't bring a busload of children.
No bus loads, people.
It really used to happen. All right. Did we have any other questions, James?
We have a question about Hasbro tickets, how they work. We will probably get into that more once, if they change their policy, once they announce what's going on. Do they typically announce everything that's going on with them? or do we just
really.
kind of have to wing it?
It hasn't changed in years. It's usually about the same. Truthfully, if you really want like a awesome, well thought out visual answer, is go look at our guides or go look at Parks and Cons on YouTube. And every year he does like a whole guide, like just to how to get Hasbro exclusives. Like he walks you through, like, this is where you line up, this is how it works, this is all of it. Like, go watch that if you want a much better answer.
I've watched them every year.
Yes, Sean is great.
I think
so. Sir Lister Smeg asked, I forgot, will Megazord be Diamond or Funko? Even though it's a Funko product, it's a Diamond Previews exclusive. So it will be sold through whatever vendors Diamond has them available at. My guess is Diamond Select Toys. But again, head to the Previews booth, get that little list of everybody, and go forth.
Yep.
Nope. Does Vikings do an autograph signing? Yes, they do every year.
There you go.
Do we have anything else?
I don't see any. I think we're good.
All right. Well, in that case, sign up for our newsletter. The link is in the show notes.
And as always, our Under the Tents column is back and blissfully still on once per day schedule. But I have a feeling that's going to be changing very soon.
And in closing, thank you all for joining us. We hope you'll join us every week as we bring you news, opinions, and special guests leading up to SDCC 2017. I would like to also say a special thank you to Darin and Deborah for joining us this evening.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And honestly, I hope everybody has an amazing convention this year. And I'm sticking around so I can say Coach Farmer.
All right. So, Robert, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Legion of Sand or legionofsand.com. So, Carrie, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Carrie Dixon, if you can spell it. James, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I am everywhere online at Dan Regal, and you can check out geekshotphoto.com for photography from my wife and I. Okay.
We are on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up on the blog, or you can search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us. We are also on Stitcher Radio. The link is in the show notes.
If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at sdcomiccon.blog@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sdconblog, or tweet us at sd_comic_con. Thank you all for listening, and everybody, go.
Go.